Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while since I've filmed, but I was gonna start a little earlier today with this one, but it's garbage day and I have a window open because it's such a beautiful day, and the garbage truck and the recycling truck are so loud, so I didn't want that in the background, but I think they're done now. Oh, do you love this? That is wax. I'm such a klutz. I have those like warmer things with the melts, and I accidentally bumped one, knocked some of the wax out, and then somehow managed to get it on a sweatshirt. Yeah, that's just not coming out. So it's pajamas now. So anyways, welcome back. I feel like I have so much to tell you guys, and I was just getting ready. And this is how far I got, and then now the garbage men are done. So, so much to tell you guys. I got a new job, and it's back in my old industry, investments and insurance, but in a different capacity. It'll be more customer and IT service support for a, it's basically like a communications platform and phone app that financial advisors can use to, it's client service management, so like a CSM, as well as being able to encrypt and record text message communications between clients and financial advisors, which up until recently, FINRA did not allow that. And this company here in Minnesota, and is growing fast, tiny company but growing, developed, this guy and his uncle developed a program, a software platform that is able to do that. And he got in contact with me via my LinkedIn. What's going on? And we met and talked, and I also interviewed with his uncle and had a great talk, and they ended up offering me the job. And I know they had several interviews, so I'm kind of flattered, because they both seem like very neat gentlemen and very accomplished and experienced and successful and connected and wise. So I feel very good about it. It's work from home. They're buying me a laptop. And I'll have to learn the platform, like basically backwards and forwards. I could do it in my sleep, and then be able to explain it in a way that you can understand to the users. So, and then also be able to send the software developer ideas for improvements and enhancements, and to increase efficiency. And I'll probably be doing some little how-to videos, frequently asked question sheets. I was thinking, like, you know how when you get a new car, they have a get started book, because the owner's manual is like that thick, but the get started, like the quick start manual, is like that thick. I was like, well, they probably need something like that if they don't have it already, like the initial like survival guide type of basic, like click here, click here, click here. Because having worked with financial advisors as long as I did, they don't want to take any time to do anything but make money. They don't want to read too much. They don't want to have to dink around. They don't want to have to take time out of their day to teach themselves. That's what they usually make the assistants do. Well, now that everything's getting increasingly more and more electronic, the assistant role, which I used to be, is dying out. So while they're able to exist on their own, so to speak, without necessarily a lot of assistant help, there's still situations like this where they're gonna call and be like, I don't want to drink around with this. Just tell me where to click so I can do this, blah, blah, blah. That'll be me. So I start in the next like couple weeks. And while I am excited, this is maybe the first time. Trying to think. Second time maybe. But usually when I've given my notice to go start another job, I've been excited to leave. Like there was a reason I was looking for another job, and there is. You know, I wanted full-time and I wanted to make more money back in my industry, that I have the skill and experience and, you know, education and what have you. But I wanted it to be the right fit. So obviously it's been taking a while. So in the meantime, I went back to doing makeup, and, but I love Ulta. So it was really hard having to give my notice and also not being able to give 2 weeks. And I know that my manager was not happy about that, and I don't blame her. But the time frame I was going on, based off of information that this gentleman and I discussed in detail, is giving me in my gut a feeling that it's not going to happen as soon as that. And now I'm starting to regret that I gave my notice as soon as I did, even though it was agreed upon in our discussion, because I was supposed to get the background check within a day or two after discussing it with him, and that was a week and a half ago, and I just got it yesterday. So there's another week and a half out in my mind. Like, it's not going to be the 24th of the 1st now. It's going to be the 1st or the 8th. Well, that's another week I could have given Ulta. So now I kind of feel like, pardon my French, an asshole. So I sent one of my managers, the one I'm really close to, a text, several texts last night, feeling really conflicted and bad. And also trying to make it so that I can still stay there, like very part-time. I think a couple people there told me if you work at least 5 hours a pay period, and a pay period is 2 weeks, you can stay on their payroll. Because I find that job very cathartic. I've made close friends there. I love going there. It's close to home. I get a discount. I'm surrounded by things I love and things that I know a lot about. I help women every day, all the time. I love it. I don't want to leave. So this has created some conflict. I've been having like weird dreams, and I've had some guilt, and it's bizarre. Because on the one hand, I'm very excited to start this new position, this new path, work from home, and the freedom that enables. I mean, there'll be like no mileage or gas hardly going on my car. It's not like I have to worry about a fancy work wardrobe, no wear and tear on my car. You know, I don't have to get up and spend 3 hours every morning getting all dolled up and dressed up to go to work in a fancy investment firm. You know, I can basically put on a cute shirt and be comfortable and work on a laptop all day, and the freedom and the comfort that goes along with that. But I'm also a very social person. That's why I've been in retail and sales. I love people. So part of that scares me. It's like, it doesn't, but it does. I don't know. I mean, I guess if I miss retail bad enough and I can't go back to Ulta or stay at Ulta or whatever ends up transpiring, because I'm sure my poor manager is like, really? You give me your notice, you know, you put us through this inconvenience, and then now you want to backpedal. And I wouldn't blame her if she told me to go take a jump in a freaking lake. I wouldn't blame her a bit. I mean, I've been a manager before. You know, personnel can be a royal pain in the ass. And especially when it's retail and you have to have coverage and hours covered and blah, blah, blah. I get it. I've been there. Granted, it's been years ago, but I have been there. So I guess if she tells me to go take a flying jump, then lesson learned. I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that yet. But at the time, I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? I don't want to wait on my notice, and then all of a sudden Derek gives me a start date, and then I'm like, oh crap, and then end up giving Ulta like a 2-day notice or something. Like, I didn't want to be that asshole either. But I've also had it where I basically had a job nailed down and last minute it was yanked out from underneath me and I had no backup plan. So what I have done differently this time is I have a couple backup plans too. So I feel like I have myself covered. Oh, the one for sure I know I can have if something goes wrong. I know for sure. For sure. I mean, this recruiter called me after 2 years, saved my resume that long, and said she remembered this whole time how much she liked me and enjoyed talking to me and how she just really thought I was a really neat lady and is still to this day wishes that I would work for her. She just called me yesterday. So I'm like, you know what? Because you never know in life what can happen. And I'm sorry, I got bills to pay. I'm like, if something happens, unforeseeable at this point, but if something happens, can I call you? And she's like, yeah, absolutely, please do. And she even put out if I wanted to do it part-time, like nights and weekends, just on my own time whenever. It's a 1099 contract insurance sales job that to keep her in mind for that as well. So I'm thinking, okay, so if I do decide I want something on the side and Ulta either won't keep me or take me back or whatever, I could do that. And literally when I want. I mean, if I want to have 1 or 2 clients a month, I could. So I thought, okay, well, that's good to know. So I talked to her, and then there were a couple things that happened at Ulta that I'm not going to go into detail, but they did upset me a little bit, and not in a way that you'd think it's not anything I really blame anybody for or think anything's anybody's fault. And I'm not going to go into detail, but I did apply at Nordstrom when I saw that they had a Lancome opening, because obviously I have Lancome experience. And she's emailed me twice, wanting an interview. And I'm kind of putting it off as long as I can in case I need to. Depending on what I hear from this new guy, either today, tomorrow, or Monday, I will schedule one for next week, just in case. Because like I said, now I've been through this unemployment shenanigans off and on now for 3 years. And let me tell you, I've learned a lot. So if you're having an unemployment issue and have a question, feel free to ask, because at this point I feel like a pro. Because I had a friend leave Ulta for Nordstrom, and it's considerably more money and commission. So it's like, wow. And it's the Mall of America. I mean, you talk about making bank. Always tourism, always shoppers. A fairly affluent sector shops at Nordstrom. I mean, these are women that really are not giving a crap about a $50 lipstick. They're just, for the most part, not all of them obviously, but a lot of them don't care. You know, they're walking up with their Gucci handbags and their whatever and wanting this and that and the other, and they don't ask what something costs. It's probably one of those stores I'm not even going to have to memorize prices for the most part, because women aren't going to care. There were a lot of women like that when I was at Minnetonka, Macy's too. Like, didn't even ask, didn't even care. Those are the women you can do very well selling to. So I have that on my little back burner as well, because I am not going to be in that situation again where somebody leaves me high and dry after a promise. I mean, the first guy to do this after I left USBI still hasn't come through. And it's been, well, yeah, it'll be 3 years in October. And this is June. And if he's watching this, I'm sorry, but it's true. I finally just had to give up. I mean, you've got a mortgage to pay. And that's what I thought was kind of crappy about that. It's like, I really do feel like those guys strung me along. And I waited over 6 months for them, only to have them table it. And here I am. Oh, well, the unemployment's out now. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have another job waiting. I mean, it was, you talk about anxiety provoking. Oh my God. I was a hot mess. A hot mess. I remember when I got that phone call. So that was in 2017. I remember getting off the phone going, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, talk about mild heart attack. That was not cool. So I don't want to be in that position again. I don't know anybody who would. So that's, I think, well, that's part of my news. The other part is last Friday I started a new diet and exercise plan. It's been more the diet than the exercise at this point. That's another thing I'm looking forward to working from home. The problem with working retail and being on your feet, and especially with a recent medical concern I've had, is I get so tired. Who wants to go to the gym or do some crazy insanity DVD workout when your feet hurt and your legs hurt and your back hurts and your knees hurt? And, you know, and I've let that part of my life go. And for the longest time, that was not a big, but it was a part of my life for several years where I worked out 3 or 4 times a week and went to a gym and saw a trainer. And I'm hoping now, like, working from home, I mean, I can take the dog for walks on my lunch hour, do stuff before I start, because I won't be spending a total of, I mean, I remember when I worked for USBI, I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and then not be to work till 8:30. But between my routine getting ready and my commute, and, you know, the crap you have to do about, you know, packing a lunch and stuff like that. And then, of course, me being so fussy with my hair and makeup and stuff, it'd take me a while. Well, I'm not going to have to worry about that now. So I can work out in the morning, sit down, relax, chug a bunch of water, make a pot of coffee, you know, all before my start time of 8 o'clock, and not have to be all dolled up, dressed up, deal with a commute, deal with traffic, deal with packing a lunch. And then, God forbid, you really have a hankering for Starbucks and want to stop by there. I mean, pretty soon you're talking about a 4-hour morning and your day hasn't even begun yet. I remember it was like that when I worked downtown. And we were under such a microscope. It was such a fishbowl. I felt like I had to look perfect every day. Just because we had big wigs and CEOs and highlighter school. You know, big clients and fancy big muckety mucks literally walking within 20 feet of my desk through the skyway every day. Talk about feeling like you're in a fishbowl. So I felt tremendous pressure. And again, I almost wish I had some of that pressure, because some of that stuff that's disappeared, I think, has been the influence I needed to keep the weight off. And so I haven't. But we're gonna make a change in that now. So I'm already down 6 pounds. Granted, I'm assuming it's mostly water weight. Because that first couple of weeks, you're just kind of like purging and shedding and cleansing, and which is good. I certainly don't mind that. So my former personal trainer sent me my macros, they're called my numbers, to try to adhere to lose weight for free as a wedding gift, which I thought was so sweet. I had messaged her one night basically in tears like, I am so sick of this, please help, and I don't know where to start. And she did, bless her heart. And she works at a gym near here, but we just can't afford that at this point. And I think we're still, well, probably not now, but we were at another gym. And then when my check card got lost and I got a new one, I forgot to change the auto pay there and never went in and did it. And every time I've thought to do it, I've forgotten. Thus, we never really went. I think they called Jed and is like, do you just want to cancel it? Because right after we joined the gym is when I started Ulta, and I get home and I'm like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm not going anywhere. So in some ways, Ulta made me stronger because I guess endurance-wise, being like on your feet all day and having to lift and bend and twist and kneel and stoop and whatever. But in some ways it made it worse because I'd be so exhausted, I wouldn't go to the gym. So I'm hoping to turn that around now. So far I've been like counting trying to. I've been adhering to my calories. In fact, probably been a little low. I have to go in and change some settings in my app to match what my old trainer gave me. The trickiest part is all the protein. I mean, I'm supposed to have 127 grams of protein a day. And I don't know if anybody watching knows what that means, but that's a lot. I mean, isn't it a chicken breast has between, well, depending on the size of the chicken breast, between like 38 and 40 grams? 40 obviously being one of those big fat Hummers. And I mean, that's a lot for me personally. In a normal everyday Kristine would not have 3 of those in a day. Not to mention, a lot of protein makes you constipated. And Lord knows that's not pleasant. That might be a little TMI, but it's true. So I gotta make sure I take stuff to combat that potential. And then they actually do want you to have, it's like carbs for hormone control, fats for something else. I don't know. She gave me these like reasoning, and then my calories. And I'm just like, holy crap. So I downloaded that MyFitnessPal, which she's right, it is very helpful. And I am tracking everything like an obsessed person, to the point where I'm ignoring like what TV show me and Jed are supposed to be watching, ignoring what he's saying to me because I'm on MyFitnessPal and I'm recording every little thing, a pat of butter, a cup of coffee, which black coffee basically has no calories, but I'm recording everything. But it helps, and it has been an eye-opener how fast calories can add up, where you're like, oh, well, guess I'm done for the day. Which, I mean, it's fine because it's almost like something else is making the decision for you. It's not left up to you to have really the discipline. I mean, other than to adhere to what it's telling you, but it's not you having to like come to this conclusion, make this decision, and then stick to it. It's telling you you're done for the day. And then you're like, okay. You might still be hungry, but that's life. There's worse things in life than being hungry from a diet. Took me over 2 years to put the weight on. It's probably going to take me a while to take it off. And that, again, is life. So that's where I'm at with that. See, the lighting isn't the best in here as usual, but Jed thinks it's my pink walls. I know he'd like nothing better than to not have pink walls in here, but they were here before he was, so sorry, dude, not happening. But he's right. I think it is affecting the color, the tone of my videos, but oh well, I'm gonna paint my whole room. My whole life, since I was a little girl, I wanted a pink bedroom. I had one with John, called it the pink room, my ex. And when I moved back in here, I wanted it still. So I did, and I'm not about to change it. And since I think we're gonna be in this house for a while because the housing market is so incredibly hot, he's just gonna have to live with it. I mean, I don't see what a big deal wall color is anyways. I mean, I don't even find pink to be offensive, even to a man, to be honest. I mean, I could understand if it was like black or, I don't know, some putrid neon green or whatever, but this isn't even bad. So I do work tonight. I work tomorrow night. We'll see what my manager says about keeping me on another week or whatever. And another thing, you know, we planned part of another adjunct to my timing for my notice was we were going to take this weekend with the kids and go explore for Father's Day. So all of a sudden, and I'm watching the weather, and I didn't notice that all of a sudden it went from upper 70s and partly sunny to it's going to storm all weekend. So him and Julianne come to me about, maybe we don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, then I wouldn't have given my notice yet. I would have worked. Like, are you kidding? And we can't spend the weekend together and go do whatever because it's raining? Again, I could have worked. So it's just been a series of things that are just working to kind of piss me off. And my fault for, I don't know, having faith in what people say or taking people at their word or making, I'm a planner, you know, when something is put out there and it's decided on and it's communicated on in detail and it becomes like official, then I follow through with it. Like, this is what was discussed, this is what was decided, this is my part to play in what I need to do. And then I go and do it. When these other people that I've encountered in my life don't do the same thing and it ends up screwing me over when I did my part, it pisses me off to no end, especially when we're talking about a career and a paycheck. So I'm in a mood today. Because I feel like I'm in this weird, awkward, uncomfortable limbo stage that I feel was of my making and that I maybe didn't handle correctly, but I had no way of knowing that how I was handling it would end up not being kosher. Like, how could I have known this guy was going to take not a day or two, but a week and a half to get me a form? And how could I have known that it was going to storm this weekend and all of a sudden that was going to be the predicating factor as to whether we were going to have family time for Father's Day and go somewhere or go do something? I guess maybe I should have deferred to my existing job and told them all to screw off. I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard when you make a good faith overture, gesture, decision, action, behavior, whatever, and then it slaps you in the face. And then I have people who I value their opinion of me thinking, you know, maybe I'm this asshole. And it's like, I'm really not. I did shorten my hours due to my new... I have a bowel impingement. It never ends. I tell you, when you turn 40, things just start going to shit. I've been having this pain, this was a couple weeks ago now, for about a week, and I couldn't figure it out. First, I think it's indigestion or constipation, or I've caught a bug, or I ate something bad, or I pulled a muscle, or maybe I even started to think, do I have a hernia? Like, it was in this spot where it wasn't close to my female parts, so I knew it wasn't menstrual related. When I went to the doctor, they made me take a pregnancy test. Confirmed that wasn't the issue. No, I'm not. And so she immediately orders a CAT scan because she thinks it's my appendix. Because finally, after a week, I'd leave work in so much pain because standing and walking was, it's hard to describe, but it was like it was pulling on it because it was my lower right abdomen. And it was, I'd, you know, go to bend over to get in my car at the end of a shift and just wince and whine in pain. Like, it just hurt. And I'm just like, okay, something's not... So finally I got scared enough, and I had to miss 2 days of work for it, too. Because I was just in so much pain. I went to my doctor. I managed to actually get into my GP, probably because it was a Friday in the summer and nobody wants to go to the doctor on Friday in the summer, but, you know, I guess fortunate for me. But, and she went poking and prodding, and I had to go down and she's like, well, you just bought yourself a CAT scan. And I loved that phrase, you just bought yourself a CAT scan. She knows historically I have either not had any or have had poor health insurance. And things have been expensive. So when she said that, I was like, yay. I'm on Jed's now. It's pretty good, but we all know that health insurance these days, unless you have Cadillac insurance, and none of it's that great anymore, you're gonna have some out of pocket. That's just the way it is. So I go have this CAT scan in the hospital. I've never had one before. I've never had pain like this before. First I had to go get labs. And I had this chick with the least amount of bedside manner I've ever had. There's nothing worse than having somebody stab you with a needle who you can barely understand, barely knows English, and has absolutely no charm or comforting way about them at all. I'm just like, you know, I'm really glad you're not doing this to like a 10-year-old kid right now, because you'd probably be traumatizing them for half their life. I'm just like, why are you gonna have an employee in a situation like this who can barely speak English and is about as charming as a freaking crocodile? I'm just like, are you kidding me? But fine. I turn away, I look away, I take my deep breaths, think about other stuff. It's done. She actually did a halfway decent job. She didn't totally like, she hurt me a couple times. You know, I tell you, I value those nurses. You know, those kind of older grandma types that have literally stuck someone with a needle a million times in their career, and they're so good at it. You literally, I've had a couple where I literally did not feel it. I'm like, did you find just one little pore, that perfect little pore, hair follicle, something that you know there's not a nerve there or something, but the vein is actually there, and you put it in at the certain angle, at the certain pressure, the certain way where you don't feel it? And why can't you all be like that? Because boy, I've had a couple where I'm just like, literally, I'm gonna throw you out a window. You're like killing me. I'm gonna pass out. And I'm not even a person who's scared of needles or blood or passing. I'm not that kind of person. So when you're making me queasy and in pain, I'm thinking, what are you doing to somebody who would legitimately freak out about something like this? Like, and how do you have this job? When I went in the hospital for my anxiety attack, which at the time, before I knew that's what it was, I thought I was having like a freaking stroke or something. That woman was awful. So here I am having a panic attack, and she's putting an IV in my hand. It's like, you could have picked a fattier place, but no. And then she had to pick my right hand. And then I swear to God, it felt like she was fishing around in there while the needle was like in me. And I'm laying there, and then when she finally gets it all done, it hurts. Like it's resting on a nerve, it's resting on something, it hurts. So I'm in the emergency room for 3 hours, 4 hours, till they do all their tests and all their poking and prodding and crap, only to find out I'm having an anxiety attack, panic attack. And I have to feel that pain in my hand the entire time. And every time I said something like, can you take it out? Can you redo it? Can you adjust it? Can you do something? Because literally my hand feels like I want to cut it off of my arm. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't touch it. It made me almost have another panic attack because I'm just like, really? I'm in here for anxiety, and you literally have this needle contraption shoved in my hand that's really causing me a significant amount of pain, and you won't fix it. It's making my anxiety and my blood pressure worse because my blood pressure was like, boom. That's how they knew it was anxiety. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. So anyways, so I had to go do that. Then I had to go have the CAT scan. That was fine. It was no big deal, but I had to wait there for the results in case it was my appendix, because then they were going to admit me to the hospital and do surgery. So I'm sitting there. It's like, part of me was okay, like, what next? Whatever. And part of me was scared. You know? I mean, who wouldn't be? When you're talking about emergency surgery, who's not going to be a little, like, you know, nervous? So anyways, they finally get the call. I mean, we're sitting there for, I think it was like 5 o'clock, 5:30. My GP finally calls after she got the results from the CAT scan dude that it was not that, and then she tried to explain to me what they did see and what her guess was what it was. Which I'm like, I don't want to hear guess. How do you just not know? You just looked at every millimeter of the inside of my body, and you have to tell me what you think it is? I know I'm ranting, but I just... So she's like, there's where the small intestine connects to the large intestine, there's a little sphincter muscle there, and it's thinner, and it's easily, you know, has the ability to, or is susceptible to getting pinched. She called it an impingement. Or it can get twisted or dented or moved or whatever. And she thought that was probably what my pain was. And then, of course, the real kick of it all, there's nothing they can do about it. Drink a ton of water and take Advil. So let me see if I get this straight. I've been in pain for a week. It's literally causing me severe pain at work. I have missed a day of work. I am now going to get the doctor bill from hell, I'm sure, for all of this. Just to be told that what I have, there's literally nothing I can do for but drink a ton of water and take Advil. That was one of the predicating factors, too, of me deciding to go on a diet. I think the medical establishment is so scared of offending people or being wrong or speaking out of turn, whatever you want to call it, that they don't speak up at all. I'm trying to decide forever what eyeliner I want to wear. And I kind of was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Lord knows I am no brain surgeon, rocket scientist, what have you. But something tells me if I took some weight off that area, it might help. And that's what I decided to do. And between cutting my hours at work, because those 8.5-hour shifts were killing me. I mean, just like I could cry by the time I would leave work from the pain. So 4 hours I can handle without feeling like I'm gonna die. And then now changing my food and my eating habits. We went and bought all like healthy food. Like there's like any crap in this that's in this house now is not mine, not for me. And then I've been trying to like take the dog for walks more and just get out and do stuff more. I figure I'm gonna try and kind of ease into the exercise part because was it the second or third day I was on this diet, I was sick. Like when your body is like going through like withdrawals of like carbs and crap, I was sick. On Sunday, I was basically in bed until 5 o'clock. Because I felt like I had a mixture of gut rot, indigestion, food poisoning, fatigue, and nausea. Basically, like, I think they call it, don't they call it the carb flu or the keto flu, or there's like a name for it where you do literally feel like you have the flu when you're going through that. That's how I felt. But I was not to be deterred, and I wasn't deterred. Judd went and got me a bottle of ginger ale, which, yes, had sugar in it, but at that point I hadn't eaten anyways because I thought I was going to barf it up. So I wasn't really concerned about the sugar and the calories. And that actually helped. You know, sometimes I've like doubted that kind of stuff, like those little things like, oh, for this, take this will help. And there's me going, yeah, right. Well, it did help. It helped a lot. So something about ginger and some bubbly. But so anyways, I picked electric blue to go over my purple. It's Pride Month, so I've been trying to wear a color. But I think that's all my news. I'm going to cut this off here because it's really way too long. And of course, this will take me forever to upload, but I just wanted to let you guys know all that. But I think I already am feeling a little better. If I can get rid of this bowel impingement through the right kind of exercise and diet and losing weight, I would be very happy. And it is partly what's keeping me motivated. My back has actually been fine. Knock on wood. So hopefully that stays that way. Hopefully the new job will start sooner rather than later. I'm hoping they'll let me stay at Ulta another week. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I don't know. I'll keep you posted on all of this. Because I was ideally hoping for at least a few days break, a few days off between the two. Hoping for some nice weather, spend some time with my parents, float in the pool, maybe go somewhere with Jed for a couple of nights, you know, something to that effect. Because once I start a new job, how am I going to ask for time off for like ever, you know? So we'll see what goes on with that. Am I still going to be making beauty videos? It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to have to get up every day and put on a full face of makeup anymore. But maybe this will be my excuse to do it. Is to make a video. So anyways, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I will try and keep the videos coming. I will keep you updated on my latest news. And until I see you next time, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.